On this episode of See Indonesia, I explore a mangrove forest on a sea-doo safari. I get my hands dirty planting said mangroves in their new homes. And I climb a tree in hopes of finding a durian. Come see the beauty, only on See Indonesia.
See Indonesia.
We started our adventure in East Kalimantan in Jakarta. And this is me, taking part in the sea-doo safari in the Jakarta Bay. With me being a rookie, they gave me the very basic sea-doo. But even that was very powerful already. And that day, the waves were extremely strong, and with that, the sea-doo was very easily unsettled. And you know what that meant? It meant I could jump and fly. Looks fun, right? Let me tell you, it was so much more than that. It was absolutely exhilarating. But what if I told you that you can do exactly the same thing in East Kalimantan? Let me show you. Welcome to Balikpapan. Over here, I also took part in the sea-doo safari, which was provided to us by our friends from Tripwe, where you can browse for any adventure wherever you are in Indonesia. Now, the sea-doo safari experience in Balikpapan was very different from the one in Jakarta. For one, and only from my experience, I was given a slightly more powerful PWC over here, with many more buttons to press.
If I could choose to do so, for example, I could change the mode to sport mode, and that gives me faster acceleration, like this. Woohoo! 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 Oh man, this thing is so much fun!
In fact, the sea-doo I was riding was the Sea-Doo Fish Pro, specially designed for open water fishing with a 170 horsepower engine. A full 80 horsepower more powerful than the one I tried in Jakarta. And the waters of Balikpapan were quite different as well.
The great thing about this water is that it's actually very calm at the moment, and that's because we are kind of in a bay, sort of, well, more in a delta really. And because of that, it is much easier to go fast because there aren't any waves kind of like preventing me from going even faster.
And with those two factors combined, I could fly in the water at a dizzying 100 kilometers per hour.
I feel the need for speed!
Happily, achieving high speeds isn't the only thing you can do in the sea-doo safari. Indeed, there were a couple of destinations that we were able to visit during our time, including this. This is the Balang Island Bridge near Balikpapan. With a length of 800 meters, and a width of 22 meters, this bridge will become the vein that the blood of cars and trucks will pass through from Balikpapan to the future Indonesian capital city of Nusantara. And with the current from the rivers upstream being very strong, it was very easy for me to take the Sea-Doo to an even higher top speed.
That was a pretty interesting bridge, but apparently we still have one more destination to go to, so we're gonna go there now.
We went where the rivers were completely surrounded left and right by hectares of mangroves. The waters were very calm, and as a result, I was able to appreciate the surroundings. This is only a small portion of the 3.5 million hectares of mangroves that exist in all of Indonesia, which amounts to 23% of the world's total coverage of mangrove forests. And even a small portion such as this has provided sustenance for the small communities hidden within.
You can see there's some of these man-made platforms here. Those are actually fishing nets, if I'm not mistaken. And breeding nets as well, where fish are bred and gathered to eat for food. It's quite popular here because the mangroves create quite the lush ecosystem for fish to get their required nutrients and stuff to grow, to become quite big. As a matter of fact.
And seeing the mangroves had me wanting to learn more about it. And so we returned to shore to search for a mangrove forest that we could enter.
See the beauty? Only on See Indonesia.
After our Sea-Doo safari, I began to grow interested in learning more about mangroves. And so, we headed north of Balikpapan, where we entered the Graha Indah Mangrove Center. This 130-hectare forest is situated in the back of an unassuming neighborhood and features an entrance building where you can learn about the history of the Mangrove Center, a nursery for mangrove saplings, and a pier where visitors can take part in a boat tour.
Now, you might be wondering why we're on this man-made boat right now. And part of it is because we want to explore through the mangrove forest, because obviously those are coastal trees. Part of it is because we want to see some of the wildlife that we can find in these mangrove forests, because they are quite unique indeed. But one massive reason is because we want to meet with the man himself, the person who created this forest in the first place.
The man we seek was Agus Bey. After running a successful career in advertising, he moved to Balikpapan, where he grew to become passionate in restoring mangrove forests. After more than 20 years of hard work and dedication, he has successfully restored 87% of the original mangrove forest situated in this area. And today we ran into him as he was on his way to plant his saplings on the grounds of the forest. So I thought, why not do my part?
Those are the saplings that we're going to be planting today from the nursery that you might have seen from the original base where the mangrove center begins. And today we are going to plant them in this area, just right here, and let them grow to become stronger and stronger like these older trees and those way older trees over there as well.
Having worked in this area for over 20 years, Agus Bey did not hesitate to enter the waters he was very familiar with. I, on the other hand...
Right, he's kind of getting in the water over there, and I'm not exactly well prepared to enter, as you can see, so I might just help him from the boat instead of actually going in.
Now, Agus Bey would usually be doing this at noon, when the tide is low. Today, however, he decided to plant the saplings late in the afternoon, when the waters were slightly higher.
Ringan ko pa ini mah. Apparently though, the water is actually helping him with carrying it, because otherwise, instead of taking the boat all the way down here, we would be parking the boats all the way over there, and we'd have to walk the entire way, holding two at the same time. Each one weighs about 25 kilograms, so it is heavy.
After we finished planting the saplings in their new homes, we left the area and re-entered the main canal, where I had a chat with Agus Bey about the animals living in this area. Specifically, I asked about the endangered proboscis monkey.
Nasalis orvartus ini sifatnya pemalu, jadi tapi mereka tidak menyerang, karena perilaku mereka itu adalah memang pemalu, dan itu satwa tersebut hanya hidup di perairan atau di hutan-hutan mangrove gitu, karena memang sumber makanannya adalah hutan mangrove.
And so, keeping in mind the words of the man himself, we boated through the canals, hoping to catch a glimpse of this magnificent creature. Proboscis monkeys haven't always been in this area in the past. Some time ago, much of these coastal areas were turned into shrimp and fish farms, driving the monkeys away from the area and causing its population to dwindle. But after Agus Bey's efforts to restore the forests, the monkeys returned. Sadly, as we went deeper and deeper into the mangrove forest, we saw little to no trace of our shy, distant relatives. Until suddenly,
we found them. You see all the way up there, those are called the proboscis monkeys. I think there's a whole family of them up here actually. Now these monkeys are an endangered species, you see. And so it is a very rare occurrence to be able to find them here. But when we do, boy are they special. Now if you hear their calls, that is because they've spotted us. And they're communicating with all the other family members to alert them of our presence. But we're gonna stay here and try to be as undisturbing as much as we can, and just to observe them having supper, I suppose.
seeing the monkeys in their natural habitat really made me think of our role as humans in the nature we live in, and how it is our responsibility to do as much as we can to ensure its survival, not only for the benefit of wildlife, but also for our own. Benefits such as sequestering carbon from the air, providing a habitat for countless amounts of wildlife, and attracting tourism into the area and driving the local economy, and so much more.
Ini sebetulnya dari hulu sampai hilir. Jadi banyak kalau kita kupas apa peranan manfaat mangrove ini bagi kehidupan, yaitu adalah kalau kita ambil semuanya bahwa mangrove ini adalah sumber kehidupan bagi saya.
Indonesia.
After the visit to the Mangrove Center, I felt compelled to learn more about the steps in which people in East Kalimantan have taken to preserve their natural surroundings. So, I headed northeast of Balikpapan towards the area of Batua in the Regency of Kutai Kartanegara, where we were invited to try the local cuisine. Here we are. This is the Belai village in Batua in the Kutai Kartanegara Regency, where we are going to have some very special food. A food that I don't particularly enjoy, but apparently it's different here. It's durian, but specifically in this place they call it lai, which they say is completely different from any other durian that is out there. But when we arrived, none of the lai had been harvested yet. So we decided to lend a hand. So today, we're not just gonna be eating it. We are, in fact, also going to be picking them from the trees, which means that I have to climb a tree. And I'm a little bit worried because I've fallen off of some trees before in my life. Mostly when I was a kid. But hopefully we should be okay. And so I strapped on a GoPro and began to climb a tree. And soon found a live fruit that was not too far out of reach. After throwing it down, I climbed down from the tree, cleaned the leaves from the fruit, and with the help of a local named Asnur, pried open the durian. Really good. It's very sweet, actually. And while I ate the durian, Mr. Asnur mentioned that the village has its own specialty dish, using the fruits as its key ingredient. The dish, dubbed lai cake, is made by heating glutinous rice flour in a pan over fire. Then wrapping a pre-mixed lai into the rice flour, turning it into a wrap. And naturally, I wanted to try making it myself. I didn't do too bad. Earlier I tried just the fruit straight from the shell, and compared to this, I think I prefer this actually. It's much easier to eat, and gets less dirt on your hands, so it's really nice.
Doyan bu dia bu, lapar.
But this village is so much more than the food it provides. As it happens, the trees that bear this fruit are classified as vulnerable by the IUCN, meaning it faces the threat of extinction unless the circumstances surrounding its existence improves. And the threat is very much real. You see, only a stone's throw away from this area is a coal mine. A coal mine which has long been planned to expand into the village and beyond. But thanks to the efforts of the village's inhabitants, as well as their allies and the local government, they were able to keep hold of their land and maintain it. In fact, growing and harvesting lye is a part of this effort, as the locals aim to turn this village into a culinary destination, thus contributing to the conservation efforts for this species of tree, preserving the livelihoods and their land by sharing this simple yet unique fruit with the world. And thus, after seeing the conservation efforts of those I've met in East Kalimantan, from the efforts of Agus Bey to restore his beloved mangrove forest, to the efforts of an entire village in preserving their livelihoods with the help of a simple fruit, my journey in East Kalimantan has come to an end. Except, it hasn't, as next week we will explore even more of this beautiful province. See you then.